Hey everybody, Artie and Dre here at Armadillo Lanes in Houston, Texas, here to check out the new 900 Global Viking. Dre, what do we know about this ball?
We know that it is the next installment of a hybrid asym in the 900 Global line. It has the RB90 Hybrid cover stock on it, and it has a Strobe A.I core to it. It's supposed to fit below your origin and have a little bit more response to that origin, where everybody loves that blue origin. So
Right.
I'm pretty excited to see how this one's going to look for us.
Me too, let's check it out.
Let's do it.
All right, so it's kind of marketed as a transition ball, so we're gonna check it out here. This is at the end of a 3-game league, so this is kind of the ideal environment that we want to probably use this ball, but let's see. All right. So it definitely has a pretty good amount of length. It seems to get down and still kind of wants to get off that carry down and whatnot.
All right, so as you can see, it's pretty clean through the front a little bit. It's not as clean as most of the other balls in our line, but it's definitely gonna be painted in like the origin that was previously in this line. So what I like the most about it so far is that it's still clean, but it's not as clean as like most of our purr balls, kind of how that origin was, but you get some response too, and that's kind of what I like a lot about these different balls.
All right, so that one came in a little light. We're gonna move in just a tad bit to the right, see if I can flush it up a little bit better. Kind of keep the same mark, same area. Let's see how it goes. Ooh, I missed right, but it should be okay. Okay, so I kind of like the overall responsiveness. It seems a little faster than I thought, which is good. For hybrids, particularly asyms, they tend to roll early. And this one kind of is getting a little quick off the spot and gave me that misroom that I needed.
So for this 900 Global Viking, we've got a brand new core inside of it, which usually gives us a shape that we usually don't have before, and I'm pretty excited for this. So, as you can see, it still blends out wet dry pretty well, but you got some response at the back. And I think that's where the origin didn't have, is that it was still blending it, but it would have a smoother shape, whereas this one wants to respond a little bit quicker now.
So Storm kind of marketed this ball as a transition piece, and so far it's kind of living up to it. It's getting down pretty easy, and as a reminder, this is after 3 games of league, so I like what I see. All right, so that one I got a little too far right, but still, I'm kind of starting to see where this zone wants to play. I would normally start on this pattern here around there, and so the fact that it's 3 games gone by that I'm still able to do that kind of lets me know that I have plenty of room to go if I had to bowl more games in a tournament or whatever.
Where do we think this ball fits? I think this ball fits perfectly kind of below that origin and right before like your Zen 25, so I think it's a really good transition piece. And as you can see, what I mean by being a transition piece is, I think as those bigger balls are starting to lope and get really lopey as you start to move left, this one still has some kind of response, but not as quick as those symmetrical pearls and symmetrical balls that we have that are a little too quick for when they're kind of wet dry.
So let's see if I can flush this one up a little bit. Really clean so far, thoughts, really responsive, and absolutely not having a problem blending out the shot. Yeah, so I like this a lot because it means I get to kind of stay in my comfort zone, which is pretty fantastic, particularly for how late block this ball is. I think this is a keeper.
And I think so far what I'm liking the most about this ball too is like, so long as I throw it to the dry, it's not super angular. It's still that smooth motion, which we all like to see. So guys, like as you can see, this ball kind of blends, for me, blends the wet dry really well. And it's not too slow. You know, that's usually those balls that blend the wet dry, they become really smooth and not as quick as this one off the spot. So
Yeah, that's a really good point. I noticed that too, that it was actually blending the lane pretty well for how late and how used this shot was, and it was still responsive off it as opposed to being slow. So you kind of get that nice little angular piece late in the block that still isn't that overreactive that you kind of worry about leaving splits or, 710s or whatever, you get. But I think it's a pretty good ball to check out. So where do you think it fits for you?
I think it fits perfectly, like right in between the bigger balls and right before I get to my symmetrical balls. So it's like a perfect bridge gap. Like you said earlier, transition piece. I think it's a perfect transition piece after you get out of those bigger balls. So if you like what you saw, guys, I mean, you can get it at your local VIP pro shop or come see us at Bolt Theory at Houston, Texas. And hope y'all can like, subscribe, and comment on this video.
Thanks, guys.